Okay. And we should be live about now. I think it's always a weird timing compared to Facebook. And then there's like a delay. So we are probably live, and welcome to the expert interview series, everyone. My name's Lisa Meisels, and I am so excited to be here with you today. First of all, well, I haven't had guests in about a week, I think. And my guest today is just delightful. You're going to love her, and she's going to talk about something that's really, really important for every single business owner. So let me just introduce the show a little bit. This expert interview series was developed last year, at the end of last year, because I wanted to give my audience a tip or strategy that they could actually take and run with and implement and get an instant result in their business. Because a lot of times we get stuck in learning and not the actual doing. And that's what slows us down from creating that momentum. So it's been really fun. And there's tons of videos on my page. So just check out the video tab if you want to see any past interviews. And if you're watching this live or watching the replay, let us know where you're coming in from. Where are you? And what do you want to know about? After I get the topic here, we're going to be talking about something specific, and just let us know any questions you have. We're not going to answer them live on this because it's too distracting, but we will definitely be tagged and get back with you if you have any questions for Dawn or for me during the interview process. And thank you so much for watching. So we're going to just go ahead and get started with Dawn Bowers-Ferrara. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, this is a great topic. So Dawn today is going to be talking about stress-free living. And this topic is so important because if you don't manage your stress, you get burned out, she's going to tell you all about it, but all of the symptoms, I mean, those things are something that you have to manage daily in your business, especially when you're in business by yourself. And you've got a team and you're managing a bunch of different hats, right? So this is going to be great. Let me just tell you a little bit about Dawn, and then we'll get started with the interview. So Dawn Bowers-Ferrara is an expert on self-empowerment, stress management, courage, and forgiveness. And she combines her unique life experiences, skills, and compassion to help identify and close the gaps in different areas of her clients' lives. Dawn established her business, A New Dawning, LLC, in 2014, and engages her clients in self-discovery process that leads to stress-free living, increased prosperity, and a greater sense of self-confidence and self-esteem. Dawn blends transformational inner work with action-oriented approaches to help her clients achieve their full potential and manifest their life's dreams. As a working mother of two, former CPA and finance employee of a Fortune 500 company for over 2 decades, she's able to incorporate a multitude of real-life business experiences into her coaching sessions. Dawn is a visionary. She's a teacher, a mentor, and a coach, and she combines real-world corporate experiences with entrepreneurship to give a full spectrum of business experiences to each of her clients. She has successfully invented, trademarked, and sold self-empowerment jewelry. We didn't know that. Which helps individuals redirect more than 60,000 thoughts a day. I want to know more about this. It also helps to fuel their energy into creations that they desire in their life. Dawn's continual transformation and the creation of her coaching business was the result of changes in her career direction prior to health issues, leading to the refocus of her energy on the power of self. After healing from stage 4 Lyme disease, as well as stress-related illnesses, Dawn embarked on a new path of rediscovery and inner strength. Through her coaching, Dawn now shares the new dawning she experienced with others to help them recover the joy of living and find their purpose for being and live life to its fullest again. Prior to starting her coaching business, Dawn was a Nestle Waters North America She was with Nestle Waters North America and led the finance functions across multiple locations through all phases of business and project life cycles. This included periods of high growth, acquisitions, and reorganizations. Dawn's area covered hundreds of employees and approximately 85 million in revenue. Dawn partnered with cross-functional leadership to identify business opportunities, trends, and risks, and implemented processes and strategies to effectively manage the business. Now, throughout her career, she's taken a lead role, and she helps individuals and teams manage their projects, achieve business excellence, and develop their career pursuits. So now she brings her full passion and focus into her coaching with transformational results and an impact on personal and professional life satisfaction, which is like so important. And she creates a safe space for her clients to discover or even rediscover maybe their talents in order to live at the helm of their own existence. And I love this. And I asked all of my guests what their big message is. And Dawn's big message is be love, equality for all, and bring light and love into each moment. That's so powerful.
Thank you.
I love that. You've been through a lot.
Yes, I have. I've been through a lot, both from a corporate experience as well as a personal experience, as well as some health issues. And, anybody whether you're an entrepreneur or you work for corporate America, or you're even a stay-at-home mom, that is a job just with your own home. There is stress everywhere, and I had experienced it, didn't know it, didn't realize I was even stressed.
Yes.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I'll just give a little bit of backstory about that and tell you kind of how I got here and what I'm doing and why.
Yeah.
So way back when, in my early 30s, I had been working a corporate job, worked a lot of hours, traveled within the job, had 2 young children at that point, a home, a puppy, because I could do everything,
Wonder Woman!
I had tape on and I was ready to go. And little by little, things take a toll on your body, and you just keep pushing and pushing and moving forward. And that is a good objective, but it has to be balanced, and I wasn't balanced at all. And it wasn't until my hair started falling out, and I had gotten a bald spot, which I didn't even notice. My hairdresser did. That's how disconnected I was from my own body. It progressively got worse. Couldn't sleep at night. The mind was constantly racing. You would think you would fall asleep after working 80 hours a week and coming home to 2 kids. Couldn't sleep, and then started bleeding. Went to see a doctor because I knew something really bad had happened at this point, but I didn't know what. Assumed it was probably cancer. And they did every test imaginable, and everything came back negative. Wow. And you would think that this would be great and I would be happy, but I wasn't, because I didn't understand what was happening. So luckily, as I do believe everybody crossed paths for a reason, and you find people, I was led to a doctor who said to me, after she had listened to everything that was going on in my life at the time, she said, if you don't get your stress levels under control, you'll be dead in just a few years. And I have to tell you, my first reaction was anger. Yeah. And my second was disbelief. Yes. Because stress is life. In my mind, in my belief system, this was just how life worked. This is just part of what we do and how we operate every day. Yeah. Luckily, something inside me clicked, believed her, went in my car, got very, very emotional, very upset, but I listened to her, and I listened to everything she told me. And that began the journey that I am now on, which is I knew I needed to change inside. I knew that I could not change the circumstances around me, until I was different. If I had left my job or, did something, it would have come with me because I would have went. So I needed to do the inner work. That led me down a whole path of learning yoga, meditation, reading hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of books, rediscovering creativity I didn't know I had forgotten I had, interests that I had never even followed up on since, decades before this. So you fast forward now, and it's probably almost 2 decades later, lots of learning, lots of different modalities I've learned, ideas, concepts, and I'll share later with your group one of those really easy techniques that has saved me lots and lots of or relieved lots and lots of stress from my life. So that's where I am now, and that's what I do, and I'm continuing to grow, and I continue to learn and explore, and I meet wonderful people like you and spread the word, and that is my calling now. And so I'm very different than where I was in corporate America as a CPA, as a finance person. This is what I do, but it's where I need to be. So
important. Thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of women can identify with because my audience, they're high achievers. And so they know how to do.
Yeah.
And when you come from that kind of a background, that's what you're used to. And so even though you come into a business, you're like, okay, it's going to be my dream life. If you continue those practices, you burn out.
Right.
You just burn out, and stress is part of everyday life. So tell us a little bit about your tip or strategy.
Okay. It's actually very simple, which is one of the goals, because we're teaching stress-free living. So what we don't want to do is complicate it and add stress into your life. Right. What did she say? How did she say to do that? Oh my gosh. So we've learned a lot, and we've just incorporated them into very simple techniques. So this is called square breathing. You may have heard it even called belly breathing, but basically it's a way of breathing that allows the body to relax. It can be done anywhere, at any time, in any place. It could be where your child's having a temper tantrum, where you're stuck in traffic, or even on a business meeting, or on a conference call, anywhere you are, on a plane, anything that you're doing, you can do this. No one knows you're doing it. You do, and your body will have an immediate result. So we can try it together, and we'll see how it works.
Let's do it.
So basically, and let me give you a little bit of background. Basically, what happens is if you're not thinking about your breathing just happens naturally, and your breathing will be the way it always is, which is typically you breathe up at the chest level. So you can select either hand and place one on the chest, and then put the other hand on your belly. And, if you don't think about the breathing, and just see where you're breathing, see where your body is heading out and heading in, and see where it is. Most people will find their chest moving up and down, or in and out. What we want to do is retrain the body to breathe with the belly. And I know as women, we don't always like to push our bellies out, but this is okay. It's not going to make your waist look bigger, but when I get a little resistance when
I bet. Yep.
So what happens is when you take the in-breath, you want to bring it all the way in, and you're going to make the hand that's sitting on the belly come out of you, and the other one will remain on the chest, and you really should not feel that one moving at all. It's going to take some time. If you've never done this before, don't get frustrated if both of them are coming out of your body. That's okay. That's very normal. But if you've done this before, this might go a little bit easier. So we're going to take a breath in, and we're going to take it in for 4. We're going to hold for 4. And when we exhale, we're going to pull that belly in towards our back, and then we're going to hold for 4 again. So let's do it a couple of times. Okay. Ready? We're going to go in for 4. Hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out and make the belly come back in towards the spine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do one more. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out 4. And let go for 4. And do it one more time. Do it 4 times. Hold 4. Out 4. Relax 4. Okay. Do you feel any different?
Yes, in that bliss state. Puts you into that.
There's lots of, you can read about it. It causes your heart to just relax, your blood pressure to go down. It helps with digestion. It helps with, your movements. It helps with everything. And what it does is it keeps you centered. It refocuses you back into your body, where most of us are out here, or we're up here in the mind. And the mind is a wonderful thing, but when it takes over, it's not so great. So what this does is it allows you to come back to center, comes right back into your own body, into your own strength, into your own power. So when your child's screaming and you don't know what to do, you take that didn't even take probably a minute. I didn't time it, but it probably didn't even take a minute to do that. And it will center you, and all of a sudden you will have a different perspective. If your boss comes in and says, hey, I need this now, and you had to go do something in the evening and you weren't planning on working late, or you've got to pick those kids up at daycare, and they're going to charge you $1 a minute after you're there after 6. We've all been there. This can center you before you respond. This can keep you level. This can keep you calm. You're stuck in traffic. Yeah. So many people get so upset and so frustrated. You can't do anything about the traffic. Potentially take another route, but if you're unable to do that, this can get you back into a place where it's okay and everything's going to work out. You're going to get where you need to go. You may be late, but it's okay. And you'll get there in a place where now you're calm and you're not frazzled and you're not just upset and all you talk about was how late you are and all the traffic.
Keep spiraling up when you do that. It's like the rage just keeps, or the chaos or the drama or whatever.
Yeah. And we do have 60 some odd thousand thoughts. I don't know who counted them. I just studied it, but I haven't counted them. But there are about 60,000 thoughts. And what happens is thoughts attract each other. So if you can get yourself in a centered space and a calm, the next one will be a little calmer. The next thought will be even more calmer, and so on and so forth. Whereas you said, you start to spiral. Well, you want to spiral in a space that's very calm, relaxed, and centered. And that simple, square breathing, belly breathing will keep you there. And here's the best part. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. I belly breathe probably 75% of the day without consciously doing it anymore. The only time I catch myself is, if I'm literally like running or, oh my gosh, I forgot that, I'll catch myself. Oh, hold on. You're not centered. You're not connected. You're out of alignment. Yep. And it's all within yourself. And that's where change takes place. So anybody who wants to make a change, it starts with us. It starts with the person. You can try to change everything outside of you. It's not going to work. And it's too much work to do that anyway. It's so much simpler when you just have to do yourself. It's only you, and you can control it, and you can help it, and you can change it. So you just practice it. And sometimes I do this with my clients, and their homework is they do this several times during the day just to realign. And they immediately feel that shift like you did. You feel a bliss.
Yes.
Bliss. So,
And I think for this audience that does a lot of online business, it's really important because there are times when you get so overwhelmed with whatever project you're working on, or messages flying at you, and you've got other things going on. So instead of getting upset and resentful and overwhelmed and frustrated and confused and all of that, this simple breathing can just take less than a minute to allow you some space to actually feel, to actually use your heart and your head when you go back into your business. I know that this has been really important for me, Dawn, and I thank you so much for sharing it. One of the things that breathing like this has done for me is actually helped me when I'm in that fight or flight syndrome. Like, I've just had an emotional rush of some sort. And, I just like, it's like, okay, just center, breathe, and then you can think clearly. You can think, and you're not in that fight or flight syndrome. That's the best way I can put it. And it's amazing. It really is amazing.
yes. Yes. And you actually summarized it perfectly, because that is what happens. The body just releases chemicals and things like that when you get in those kind of situations. And this brings everything back in alignment and gets you back in control of yourself, which is really where everybody wants to be. If
So,
you're, yeah. Yeah.
no, go ahead. Yeah, we've got time, so go for it.
Yeah. So that's great that you felt that and that you did that. And that's what I would suggest to the audience. Try it.
Yeah.
Do it, maybe in the morning before you even get out of bed. Just lay there for a minute. It's real easy to watch the belly come up and down when you're laying. Very, very simple to watch it, so you can practice it. Do it before you go to sleep. You'll sleep better. It actually relaxes the body. Everything just starts to align. And then as you get more and more comfortable with it, test it in a situation where you're in traffic, or you're waiting online, or your plane is delayed, or a screaming child is, maybe it's not even yours. Maybe you're in a restaurant and there's someone else's screaming child and you're trying to have a dinner. Test it, watch it. And you're going to start to see yourself. You're going to feel your body, and you're going to feel it start to calm. And that is an incredible, incredible place to be. And what happens is you keep your body in check like that, and you don't start feeling all the symptoms of stress.
Yeah.
Lots of them. It causes weight gain, aging. Our faces look older. If I showed you a picture of me from 20 years ago, I look 20 years older then than I do now. I'm in my 50s now, and I looked back at pictures, my kids don't even recognize me. So that calm, that's just one of many things that I do, but that one just provides that calm, and it just that rebalancing and recentering. And that is so important. And if anybody's in sales, or if you're getting on a call, do that before you do that. Before you get on that call, center yourself. And what happens is, or if before you go into a network meeting or something where you're going to talk to someone, because what happens is people become more attracted to you, because you're in balance, and they're everywhere else. They're, in a state. And you could stand in a networking event and not even approach anyone. And if you're in there in that special state and you're inside, you're laughing because I think you know what I'm talking about. People will come over to you. And some people will say, like, even now, people will say to me, I don't understand why you're so calm. This is happening, and this is happening, and this is. And it's okay that this stuff is happening, but what it does is it allows you to be very focused, and you can actually think and find solutions. So where everyone is focused on the problem, all of a sudden you're coming from a completely different space, and you're like in this, vortex of solutions. And you're like, well, let's try this, or let's do this, or could we do that? Or what about this? And they don't understand how you're even calm, but how you're coming up with these ideas, because they're all caught up in the problem. This breathing will move you into the solution area. So it's beautiful. It's just a wonderful, wonderful tool. Simple, easy, you can use it for the rest of your life. Teach everyone you know it. Teach your family members, because it will help everybody. Teach your coworkers. I used to teach people this at work, and they used to call me the delightfully strange one, but they used it.
Delightfully strange. I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, so here's what I know this would help for too. You talked about having trouble sleeping when you're really stressed. And I've caught myself when I'm out of balance and not really, not just out of balance, waking up in the middle of the night, feeling stressed. And you know how it just continues and your mind continues to go. If I'm able to catch myself, I realize I'm not breathing. I'm holding my breath. Every time I'm stressed, I'm holding my breath, or I'm shallow breathing up, like you said, up here, not through the belly. And when I'm able to just breathe and do that kind of breathing, I can fall asleep.
See, beautiful. That is beautiful, because that's that monkey mind. That's what was happening to me when I was so stressed. I could sleep maybe 4 hours a night. I mean, if even that, it probably wasn't those deep, deep sleeps. Right. Mm-hmm. Now everybody laughs because I can sleep 9, 10 hours sound, I don't need to, but I can.
Yeah.
But it's that breathing technique. I often will fall asleep before even a plane takes off, because I'm so calm and relaxed, where everybody else is very nervous. But I go into that state of very calm, centered breathing. I don't even know the plane took off. I'm already sound asleep on the plane. So it's a beautiful technique, and that's so glad that you can use that, because it does happen. Our minds do somehow trigger on at night, which I don't understand the science of all that. But this is a great way to get hold of it and get control of it and say, okay, stop.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I love it. Yeah. So Dawn, what kind of fun, exciting things do you have coming up that you want to share with the audience?
Oh, I have lots of stuff. So I'm doing I always do my life coaching and my energy healing with one-on-one with people. So people can absolutely, contact me with that. But I have some fun things. I'll show you some cute flyers I have coming up. I have it's a stress-free living series down here. I live in Florida, and this is being held over in St. Petersburg, Florida. And it's a summer series we're doing. So we teach some stress-free living, as well as we teach energy and how it affects you and your chakras, and what happens when they're out of balance, and how does it cause different impacts to your physical being, to your mental being. So that's really fun. That's starting on June 17th. So we're excited about that. And then this is really what I'm really excited about. We have a 4-day retreat. I know, it's a complete immersion in stress-free living. We will teach everything you've ever wanted to know about stress, so that you know that you are even stressed. My own example was, I didn't know that. And thank goodness I crossed that path with that doctor, because I thought mine was some kind of medical issue, which it was manifesting into medical issues. But the core and the root was stress. So we teach a lot about stress. What is it? And then we help each individual at the retreat to identify their own stress triggers, because something that might stress you may not faze me. Right. Something that might stress me, you don't think anything of. So every person has different stress triggers. We teach you how to identify them, and then how to eliminate them. And that's the key, because once you get rid of them, they will still happen.
But you know how to take care of them.
Exactly. So that's in St. Pete, and that is September 20th through September 23rd at a beautiful historical bed and breakfast. We'll be doing a little bit of light yoga, meditation, a whole bunch of different things. So they can look on the website and check it out, and hopefully they will love it.
Yes, and we're going to put Dawn's website information in the post once I edit it, once we say goodbye. So I guess we're probably ready to do that. So thank you so much. This was really good. I love the demonstrations. I love it when people bring real life, easy, simple. I'm all about simple and easy. So simple, easy, memorable things that you can just do. This is perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. And thank you, everybody who's watching, whether you're watching live or the replay. Thank you so much for being here. And this expert interview series happens every Wednesday. So come back again. And if you want to check out others, there's lots of videos in the video tab. So we will see you next week, and have a great one.
Take care.